the Elife E7 and the Canvas Knight, flagships from their respective manufacturers Gionee and Micromax. So what's the better buy? Well, that's what we aim to find out in this video. So without further ado, if this is your first time here or in case you've plain old forgotten, my name's Ash and you're watching C4E Tech. Let's get started. First, let's start with the build. The Canvas Knight with its glass-backed metal sides and slim 7.7mm profile seems better designed and built than the all-plastic 9.5mm thick Elife E7. But then again, there are certain compromises that Micromax had to make. Number 1, the Wi-Fi range is a little lesser thanks to the metal. Well, that's manageable. The next one might be a deal breaker for few. Music streaming via Bluetooth earphones is close to impossible. Audio keeps cutting out often, even if you're just walking, and it really isn't a pleasant experience. With that being said, let's now move on to the specs. The Canvas Knight is powered by the Mediatek 6592T true octa-core chipset. That's 8 Cortex A7 cores clocked at 2 GHz each, coupled with a Mali 450 GPU and 2 GB of RAM. On the other hand, the Elife E7 is powered by the top-of-the-line Snapdragon 800 chipset, housing 4 high-powered Krait 400 cores clocked at 2.2 GHz each, coupled with an Adreno 330 GPU and 2 GB of RAM on the 16 GB variant and 3 GB of RAM on the 32 GB variant. As evident here, the Snapdragon 800 is a much better chipset. Though it houses fewer cores, Krait 400 is much more powerful than the Cortex A7 found in the Mediatek octa-core chipset, and as expected, it performs better, outscoring the Mediatek 6592T in every benchmark. When it comes to gaming, while the Mali 450 GPU is pretty capable and handles any game thrown at it, the Adreno 330 GPU on the Elife E7 seems to handle things a little more smoothly and should be a bit more future-proof. As far as audio goes, quality via the internal speakers on the Elife E7 is a little better with higher levels. When it comes to audio playback via the included earphones, the E7 with its DTS support is definitely superior. While we are on the topic of audio quality, you need to remember that the Elife E7 has 3 microphones that provide great noise cancellation and much better audio while on call, whereas the Canvas Knight makes do with just one solitary microphone. It is also worth noting that the Canvas Knight lacks the NFC capabilities of the Elife E7. As far as the display goes, though both phones use Full HD IPS displays, the sizes differ. While the Canvas Knight uses a 5-inch display giving it a pixel density of 441 pixels per inch, the Elife E7's bigger 5.5-inch display gives it a little lower pixel density of 401 pixels per inch. But then again, both displays are great. Sharp, accurate, good contrast, and great viewing angles. In the end, it all comes down to Gorilla Glass 3 being used by Gionee on the Elife E7, while Micromax has kept mum with regards to display protection. This gives the E7 an edge in the display department. Now moving on to the battery life. While the batteries on both phones are non-user replaceable, the Elife E7 does have the higher capacity battery at 2500 mAh compared to the 2350 mAh on the Canvas Knight. On a looping video playback test, the Elife E7 lasted close to 9 hours on a single charge compared to a bit over 7 hours for the Canvas Knight. With the E7's higher capacity battery and Qualcomm's better battery optimizations, you can expect about 15 to 20% longer battery life on the E7 when compared to the Canvas Knight. Now let's talk about the camera. On paper, both phones have 16 megapixel rear cameras and 8 megapixel front cameras, but there's where the similarity ends. The rear camera on the Elife E7 with its 1.34 micron pixel size and 1x2.3 inch sensor outdoes its counterpart on the Canvas Knight. While the Canvas Knight is no slouch, the camera on the E7, be it the autofocus times or the level of detail, is just a tad better. With the front camera again, the E7 wins out with its ability to autofocus and overall capture better pictures. When it comes to video recording performance, it was more or less similar. Now we move on to the camera UI, and here's where the Canvas Knight shines since the UI is clean and minimalistic and you can see whatever changes you make in real time. Whereas with the Elife E7, the UI is not too intuitive, takes up a whole screen, and you need to keep switching back and forth between the viewfinder and the settings menu to check if the changes that you've made have the desired effect. This, I feel, is an unnecessary hassle for the end user. And as far as software goes, both phones run on Android 4.2.2 Jelly Bean, while Micromax has largely left Android untouched, barring the addition of a few Micromax apps. Gionee, on the other hand, have their heavily skinned Amigo 2.0 UI on top. The Amigo UI can get sluggish once in a while. Though the Elife E7 packs in much better specs underneath the hood, the UI at times feels a bit slower than it should, thanks to all the extra effects and transitions that Gionee's thrown in. Now, even with all that turned off, sometimes things can get a little choppy. This is not the case with the Canvas Knight. By remaining as close to stock as possible, Micromax has managed to get the best out of the Mediatek 6592T chipset. Everything feels fast and snappy. In other words, Gionee's software is the E7's weakest link. The software at times even manages to bring one of the best chipsets in the world at the moment, the Snapdragon 800, to its knees. Micromax, by leaving the UI almost untouched, has let Android do what it does best and get the most out of the MTK 6592T. So to sum it up then, build, not really a contest here. While the Canvas Knight does look better and the looks do come with some strings attached. No winner here. Display, specs, battery, audio and camera all go to the Elife E7. On the other hand, software and price are two areas where the Canvas Knight wins out. And if you want dual SIM functionality, then your choice is pretty limited because only the Canvas Knight supports dual SIM functionality. While the Canvas Knight is not a bad device by any means, the Elife E7 does seem to offer better value for money. So my conclusion, if you can afford to go with the Elife E7, please do. But if you can't, the Canvas Knight is not a bad buy either. But that's just me. What do you guys think? Do you think I'm right in choosing the Elife E7 over the Canvas Knight? Or do you think the Canvas Knight is the better device here? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So I guess that pretty much wraps up this comparison video. Hope you guys found it useful. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to C4eTech for more videos like these. So thanks a lot for watching guys. Till next time, this is Ash here from C4eTech signing off. You guys have a great day. Bye bye now.